Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Productivity Mastery. Stoyan is here, your host. And as always, every week we're bringing you amazing people to the podcast. We had a bunch of amazing guests recently, and my guest today is one of them as well. I'm very excited to welcome her this morning, Diana Kostova. She has over 12 years of experience in various leadership roles at Kaufland Bulgaria. Currently, she's responsible for developing and motivating people, enhancing organizational performance, and creating a positive and inclusive work culture. As a head of learning, development, and motivation, she leads a team of professionals who design and implement innovative learning solutions, employee engagement initiatives, and motivation strategies for about 7,000 employees across the country. She's super inspiring. She's super positive. Good morning, Diana. How are you today?
Good morning, Stoyan. It was so nice to say it in this way with such a mood. Good morning. I'm fine, thank you. And I'm glad to be here. It's my first live podcast attending and not in my first language, in English. So I would speak in German English, so in hard. But I feel great and I'm really happy to be here with you.
Thank you for being here with us, and just for the audience, we have a little bit of a delay on the sound, so stay with us. Um, we will not interrupt each other, so you guys have a nice experience listening. I want to start with that. So, Diana, you're currently a head of learning, development, and motivation at Kaufland, but you have a PhD in philosophy. Tell us a little bit more about your story. How did you end up doing what you do today?
Yes, with pleasure. Currently, I'm head of learning, development, and motivation, and this is maybe my eighth position in the company. I I do not count them anymore because they are changing rapidly. I started in Kaufland 16 years ago. 16. And why Kaufland? Because I am with German language and I wanted to work for a German company. And it was the criteria how I have chosen my employee. And the first position which I occupied was junior buyer in procurement in the year 2008. Then I went through different positions in the same department. Then I moved to fresh foods in the trade department. And after my maternity, I took the responsibility for the whole procurement. Then for the letting department, and since 2 years, I'm responsible for HR topics. So it's a wide experience. Actually, it's more easy to answer what I didn't do in the company. Maybe logistic. Yes. And regarding my education, yes, I have a PhD in management, and this is what I actually do. It's kind of management, but I have studied tourism. Why tourism? Because at the age of 18, I had no idea what I wanted to do, and this sounded so modern. So tourism, I had really no idea. But luckily, it became more clear with the years. And then my master is in management science. I did it in Bulgaria, but for a German university. And then I made my PhD in management. Yes.
Super interesting, and I think also interesting for the people listening, especially the young listeners who are trying to figure out how do I build a successful career. And I mean, listening to you, Diana, and also looking at my journey, looking at the journey of many of the guests of the podcast, there's no one simple single path to having a career. Like some people start like you, for example, you've done so many different things in the company, and now that gives you the opportunity to be very helpful for at your current position because you understand the company from so many different angles, which is also quite inspiring. But I'm curious, what motivates you to wake up in the morning and do what you do?
Because I did my dissertation in the management field, I know where the what means motivation. It comes from the Latin word. It's movare, which means to move. And actually, for me, the opposite is more difficult, not to move, because I have a lot of energy. I wake up with a lot of energy and passion, and the wife motivates me. I'm curious and passionate about each date, and I'm full with motivation. But of course, I don't want that it sounds so pink and optimistic and not realistic. I have my bad days, of course, and I think that it's absolutely normal that we have our bad days with low mood and not with so much energy and passion. And this understanding that we have to be highly motivated every day is not a realistic one. And we do not have to judge ourselves when we are not motivated. Yes.
What do you do when you are not motivated to have a bad day? You personally, how do you, what do you do to shift the mood? What are your habits?
Um, Earlier I tried to make myself motivated, so to make my mood better, to boost my mood. But now I'm learning just to stay with that feeling. I'm not motivated today, I am not so lucky today. I just stay with that feeling, and I am trying to learn that it's something normal. It's really hard because each one wants a good mood and to be happy every day, but I think we can learn it just to enjoy, not to enjoy those days, but to accept those days. It's part of the life, ups and downs.
Yeah, I'm thank you for saying that because if somebody follows you on LinkedIn or other social medias, they'll see this positive person, this high energy from your pictures, from everything. And I think sometimes we create this imaginary personas like, oh, Diana, she's always pumped, she's always motivated, like that's the feeling you get when you look at or my social medias, right? Like, but the thing is, we have bad days and we have really, struggles, and being human, it's part of life that you have some, ups and downs. Sometimes it could be weeks that you have a kind of a down period, right? And it's fine, just accept it, and of course get the best out of it. But we can't paint this picture that everything is rainbows and unicorns. And I love that you're saying that also as a head of learning development and motivation, because this is also kind of making it easier for people that you are serving to also feel okay that I'm not going to be perfect every day.
Um, Thank you for saying that, because it makes me think in this direction. Maybe we were showing only our positive faces, and we have to show also more from our negative parts of the life. And this is why maybe the social media create one not so realistic imagination about the world, and it makes the other depressed because we compare ourselves with that what we see. Actually, we compare ourselves with our lowest mood with okay, with that what we see. But I wanted to say that I will try, and I'm challenged by what you said. I will try to show also some part of the not so positively parts of the life, and it's how it should be. We must be more authentically and to show also the other sides of us. I
When
challenge you
I
to.
I'll take the challenge. I take the challenge. Um when my video production company didn't succeed, I took a job in Denmark. I was 30 years old, and I had all these degrees and awards as a filmmaker, as a movie producer, achievements and everything. And I had to go back and take a job as a dishwasher in a hotel in Radisson. But I didn't want to talk about it because I was ashamed. It was like this award-winning producer, the image of myself. So I'll just, I'll try to go to the hotel and like so nobody sees me, like, and we had a retreat with the international people. Like I organized this retreat for 7 days, and everybody had to sit on a hot seat, and you share something you're struggling with. And I was talking about what I'm going through, and I open up, and I was like, guys, I'm organizing this cool retreat, and I'm doing these workshops with companies, but I'm not there at the moment. I'm washing dishes, and it's really hard. Uh, but I don't want to talk about it because I don't want the clients to know back at the time, right? Because no, this guy's washing dishes. He's teaching us how to build a successful team, right? And they were like, no, 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 man, this is so inspiring. Are you kidding me? This is incredible. You gotta talk about it. I'm like, really? And then I started sharing. I mean, not in every corporate workshop I'll talk about it, but when I had to do a speech, I'll be like, by the way, guys, I'm still doing a job as a dishwasher to support myself. Da, 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 da. And people started like, you know what, this is so cool, like uh, because they're like, okay, it's not that easy, I can do it too. So I really saw a shift when you talk about your struggles and what you're going through. And I mean, look, I'm here with you today. I'm tired. I'm really tired. I had 3 crazy weeks right now. I have 16 one-on-one sessions after this podcast to attend to, and then I have two more meetings. It's not what you see, guys, on social media. It's a little bit different. But thank you, Diana, for being open and also sharing.
Thank you too. Thank you. I'm tired too. If it makes you feel better, I'm happy in good mood, but I'm also a little bit tired. Let's talk about our problems now. No, I'm
Yes.
kidding, but
Now let's
we
open.
have to be authentic, and it makes it more to the people. Yes. Thank you.
Amazing. Oh, let's talk about learning and development, and let's talk about Kaufland. What I love about your brand and what you guys do is, I mean, starting from the motto, caring for people is our priority. I mean, how beautiful. I mean, this is all about what we stand for with the things that we do. um, why is that the motto? Tell me a little bit about it, and what does it mean to you?
Yes, this is one of the mottos of our companies. Caring of people is our priority, and like a big company, I think that Kaufland realizes that the people are in the main role of our success, and they contribute for the success. And we realize it every day. And we put the people in the center. That means that we show the faces of our people in the social media. You can see our colleagues, the women power, the kids of our colleagues are also heroes in some TV videos. Mm, it sounds a little bit standardized, so people are the most important resource we have, so many companies use it, but some figures could show that we are really doing it. For example, the percentage of the people which are internally promoted in Kaufland is one um, of the yes figures which speaks for itself. So it's 80 percentage of our leaders are internally promoted. So it's a big number, and if you're in the company, you can feel it. So I cannot now explain how important are the people, but we are really a company which realized that the environment and the workplace is really important, that we have to treat the people with respect, and we give a lot of opportunities like a big companies, not only to be promoted, but also to occupy a position in another department. So my example is not an exception. Um, yes.
I love what you're saying, and I mean, yesterday I was speaking at the event. We were chatting about it before the podcast. It's called Disrupt HR. Shout out to Disrupt HR people. Great event. And I shared this statistic. Mm, I saw this study where they found that when people are looking for a new job, the first thing they look for, even before salary, is learning and development opportunities. And it's like, wow, this staggering statistic. Like, people learning is not just the right thing to do, but it's actually very, it's what we want to do, because that's right also for us as a business. I wonder what is your take on that, and maybe also if you can. I mean, you're responsible for 7, 8,000 people. How do you strategically decide? How, I mean, there could be so many ways to approach learning, development, and motivation. But what is your? How do you strategically decide what to prioritize?
Yes, this is the statistic which you mentioned. That the people are interested more and more about the learning and development opportunities, which makes me happy. So not only the salary is the first at first place or other criteria, but the learning and development, because the people realize that it's like an investment. So you become not only a salary but also investment in your skills and a possibility to improve yourself. Regarding our strategy, we try to make initiatives and learning opportunities for the whole company and for each focus group. A big challenge for us and for me and from our team is the huge number of people. As you mentioned, it's over 7,000 people. But more challenging is not only the number, but the heterogeneity of the people. So we have a really wide range of different colleagues, from the cashier in the small city, the commissioner of the logistic center, the management in the headquarter, and they are so different as needs, as preferences, and what they want and expect. And it's really challenging to make something um, which is for all the people. That's why our strategy is different initiatives, learning or motivational, which are for the different focus groups. So we make learning approaches for the headquarter, which are only for the people here. We make also some academies for the people in the sales, or some events in the logistics center. So different types of activities, just that everybody felt recognized. So this is the most challenging, and this is part of our strategy, just to do things which are accepted and satisfying for all the people in the company. Yes.
Thank you for sharing. I follow you guys on LinkedIn, and I follow you individually, and I, there's always all these amazing activities, like pictures from this academy and this thing and that. Like, wow, these guys are doing a lot of different things. I wonder how much do you involve the employees? I mean, you decide what the initiative should be versus understanding their needs and creating experiences based on what they think should be the learning experiences.
Yes, very good question. And we do both things. Sometimes we decide and we choose some initiatives, but we always ask the participants how they evaluate the thing, the initiative. And based on the survey and the satisfaction factor, let's say, we decide if we should plan the same thing also in the future. But we make also surveys and ask the people what do they expect, what additional benefits or initiatives could bring to more satisfaction, etc. So it's in the both directions, but there is no event and no learning or no any training which we did not evaluate. So evaluation is always made by us, just in order to see the feedback of the participants, because just doing things and checking that it's done, it's not the long-term successful way. We have to do things which are really evaluated for the people and make sense.
Yeah, and I was about to ask you that. You have this German approach. You said, right, discipline, efficiency. So that's very important to you. So, what do you find makes an effective learning experience for you? Like what do you see as an effective learning experience?
Yes, we are Germans. We have our KPIs, and we have to measure everything. And just to clarify what I said in the previous sentences, the surveys about the evaluation of the participants are really wide, and we ask about how satisfied they are with the whole organization, with the added value, with the trainer. So additional criteria just to see what could be improved and to make a better and better learning experience in future, but also to compare with previous years. So KPIs are made for that, just to see where you are and what is the potential which you have, and if you are better than previous periods. But learning experience is something which the colleagues are expecting in the last time. So it's not only a training or an event, they want experience. Not that a trainer comes for 2 days and just learn them how to manage the time, but really to experience it, to be in the role of the moderator, and to practices. And this is something which we try to consider and to involve in the trainings which we make, just to remember it. And one example now, I I was I was in a management programs maybe 6, 7 years ago, no matter, and there was a few modules of the program. The first one was team building. Then we have strategic thinking and agile and etc. I do not remember the modules, but I remember the first one with the team building activities, and I will never forget it because it was an experience. And now when I have to organize such leadership academies, I consider exactly this, that only the learning is possible through experience, and this is something which remains in our head, in our memories, and something which makes sense really.
I love it. Nobody wants 2 days of one person coming and just sharing information. And I mean, how long can you hold the attention of somebody? And how meaningful it is really, as opposed to creating an experience and designing experience that is specifically addressing the needs of this specific group, with ideally some tangible things to go home with, like as you said, with the exercises, with I don't know, like a specific thing that they clarified, and now they have action steps and commitments of what to improve in the specific area. So can you share maybe, you know, on the top of your head, in the past 3 6 months, like what are 1 2 3 examples of initiatives that you are proud of?
Yes, I can. I'm really proud of the new programs which we realized. The big programs, it is something which we created as a team, and which we implemented as Kaufland Bulgaria. It was not something given by the international departments. And the two programs which we implemented a few months ago are Mentoring. This is our internal mentoring program. We had 13 tandems, so 26 colleagues. They worked for 5 months together, and it was a really successful example for a good program, just to transfer the know-how, to exceed the learning culture, and to make the collaboration between the departments better and better. And of course, we make a second season of the program. Let's see in which direction. Another program is the one for physical health of our people. It's Fit. And we have about 70 members. They have access to seminars, to apps, challenges, and the motto here is the body achieves what the mind believes. And we are trying to motivate the people to take more care about the physical health, to make more sport activities, to eat healthy, and to give them the access to all the resources which we have. We also organize seminars with influencers and people which are famous just to boost their motivation in this direction. And this program is current is till the end of the summer active, the first season, and let's see the results. Part of the program CAFIT is CAFIT challenge. It's more interesting because here we have only 13 people. They were measured in the beginning, so how they look, the weight, the body mass index, etc. And at the end of the program, the three of them with the best results will become some prizes, and not and really good prizes for the results they achieved. And these are the programs which I think show that we care about the people. It's not something which is expected that we do. It's not something given by the international colleagues. It's not on our to do. It's something which we give as idea and realize it. Yes, I'm really proud of it.
And your face shows it, you know. For those of you who are listening to the podcast on audio, you have to see the Diana's face, like she's so passionate talking about this, and I'm, you know, I love that you guys do that because many organizations, the learning and development is mainly focused on, you know, technical skills, which are important, of course. How do you use this software? How do you do your job better? Important. But when an organization genuinely cares for the well-being of their people, for people feeling well, for people having a good time and experience when they're at work, uh, their fitness, right? This is just the. I mean, it's again, many organizations still don't see the how this investment is a good thing for the company as well, but it is. It's not just the right thing to do. This kind of investment is coming back because if people are fit, if people feel taken care of, I mean, motivation goes through the roof. It's, I mean, I don't know why people don't see. Hopefully more people listening to this podcast can realize that you got to invest in your people, not just in the technical skills.
Yes. And as your podcast name, the Productivity Mastery, you can be productive only if you are physically, mentally, and if you are in good health. And this is the way how we could be more and more productive, not just by trainings or some other initiatives. Also, that
You know, people when they hear sometimes, oh, Stoyan, he's doing stuff with productivity. Um, the initial, if they don't see me and don't watch a video or something, the initial kind of feeling is this is some boring guys that's talking about efficiency and systems, and it's like I'm so far from this. I mean, productivity is not about only that. This is part of it, right? You're a German approach person. Efficiency systems important discipline, but it's about the mindset. You know, productivity is about being intentional about where you're going, and it's holistic. It has to be holistic. You know, if you're not taking care of yourself and you're just working, and I mean, how far are you going to go? And that's not a sustainable approach. Sustainable approach is you have to take care of all the important things that matter for the well-being of the person, for the professional development of the person, for making sure that their development plans are connected to their personal motivations, but also to the company goals. So I think it's holistic, and so thank you for sharing that. What I'm curious to learn is I mean, all these programs, all these ideas, they should come from somewhere. So I wonder, what's your ideation process? Where do you get inspiration from to build and design these innovative programs?
um, okay. First, I would mention that in order to be inspired, people need a safety workplace. So you know better than me that the good ideas come when the mind is calm. So we need really a good and safety workplace. And where we get the ideas, we are trying to be up to date, to follow the trends, but also to create the trends. And I'm really proud that our colleagues have nice ideas, and we consider each idea not only of the team but also different proposals from each employee. And we don't let the ideas in the air in our heads and or on paper. Each good idea becomes a concept, and each concept, if approved by the management, becomes a plan, and each plan becomes a realization. And I'm really glad that I work for a company which approve each crazy idea. So we are kidding that the more extravagant, the more exotic one idea is, the more possible that it is approved. And we are really in a company where innovation is welcomed, and almost each new concept which we show becomes approved. And we realize it as the programs I have mentioned and many other examples. And this makes me proud, as first that we have so good ideas of the team and of the members of the company, and second that we become this green light to realize it.
And you mentioned team. Ideas come from everywhere, and then also the team. But I wonder how important for you is the team, and what do you look for when choosing people to join your own team in learning development and motivation? What are the most important characteristics that you look for?
How is important is the team? I don't think that there is something which is more important than the people with which you work. It's like the partner in the life, so it makes you happy or unhappy, not the conditions, the house, or something else, or the office, but the people. And how I choose, I have a really stable team, so I don't have to choose new members. But if I have to hire a new one now, I would prefer a person with a person not with so much experience, but a good human. So a person who is a team player, emotional, intelligent, and each a human being. So maybe it came with the experience, because a few years ago I would prefer someone who is with a lot of experience. But in the previous years I was responsible for other departments, so we needed results and KPIs, and it was really tough. But now, maybe with experience, I realized that you a good person can learn really fast, and the experience doesn't matter when the person is not a good one. So, not that there are bad persons, but yes, there are different type of people.
I
I
have a bit
hope
of
that
a
you understood.
I have a bit of another provocative question, but the saying, the shoemaker kid is their kids are going barefoot. I wonder, do you have, with all the work, the great work that you do you have time, you in learning development motivation, to also experience some learning experiences, or you're taking care of everybody and there's no space and time for you guys to?
I have time, and I try to attend to many trainings which you organize, because I have to know what is the quality of the trainings which we provide. The evaluation is a good way that I become information, but the own experience is also needed. And I take this time and invest it, because it makes sense that I experience that what the other participants do. Yes.
That's great. That's great. I mean, look, my dad is a teacher. He's teaching German, and I never learned German.
German.
Yes, he's teaching German. My dad, and but he's been so busy teaching everybody, and he's been trying to teach me. For some reason, I never really picked up for me. I did courses, and he's a great teacher, by the way. Um, but he's one of the best in this. I never really learned German. I don't know why. Maybe wasn't motivated, but that I was also kind of asking for that reason. It's like, do you guys have space and time to really um, have these learning experiences yourself? And it's great that you guys create space for this to happen, because you can be so passionate about what you do and set up learning experience for everybody else, and at the end have no space for that. But that's not a good recipe at the end of the day. And Diana, I'm wondering. Yes, you wanted to share here. Okay, go ahead.
I just wanted to share the same example like yours. It's about the private part of my life. My mother is a teacher in biology, and it's not my field. I'm so I'm not experienced, let's say, in that field. So I understand you.
Love it, love it.
Yes.
By the way, shout out to my parents and all the great parents out there who were kind of amazing in doing their best to do the best for us. I mean, so grateful for my family, and so shout out to my parents while I'm speaking. The other what I wanted to also know is the um, where's your personal inspiration coming from? I mean, of course, you're listening to the team, the people from the company. But I wonder if I mean, what do you do? Do you read books? Do you listen to podcasts? Do you have some sessions with some colleagues at your position in other companies? How do you get inspiration? What is your way to do that?
Um, I'm I'm inspired by nature. It sounds maybe a little bit crazy, but um, I feel really inspired almost daily. And what inspires me? Maybe the life, the each new day. I'm full of curiosity, just to enjoy the days. Regarding the books which you mentioned, I had a period of my time when I read books, new books, and I was really stuck with information. And I realized it maybe a few years later that I know a lot of things, but they are just in my head. And now I do not read so many books. So I read, of course, but not so many books. And I'm trying just to experience the things. And it's also something which motivates me because the inspiration and the good ideas, maybe they come with the experience, just to do the things and to be there, not to read, not to know the things, but to feel the things. So
We
yes,
had
I
a guest
enjoy
on the.
listening podcasts because yes, sorry for the
Go ahead.
interruption. It's because of the delay. I enjoy listening podcasts because I'm a really hard multitasker, and when I do something like sport activity or another activities, I use the time to listen some podcasts, and this is the way how I also inform myself and inspire myself by such inspirational podcasts like yours.
Well, thank you for the kind words. And I wanted to mention that we had a guest on the podcast, Giovanni Dinspan. I think he was the guest, and he have this distinction. There's two types of people, or two forces. Um, there's water, and there's fire people. From what I hear, it feels like you're naturally a lot more fire. passion, energy, let's move. Like you wake up in the morning, I mean, it's harder. I'm fire, like nature. I'm fire. I need to cool down. It goes like, I don't need motivation in the morning, Diana. I'm just like, hey, let's go, let's move. It's more like the calm down is the so I wonder, was that the right guess? You're more fire, and because you're more fire, you're passionate, you're ambitious. What do you do to balance out all this fire, all this passion?
Thank you for the way you answer me. So you don't ask me what motivates me and inspires me anymore, but what makes me not so in the air. First, you don't have to mention that you are fire. I think that anyone can feel it. So it's not something that we have to say. I think you can feel it, and you cannot fake it. So if you say you're water, I will not believe you, because it's really easy to feel the fire you have. What makes me calm down, maybe? And this was the question. What balance? What balance? What brings to my balance? Maybe the sport activities. I do a lot of sport, not daily, but almost daily, and this is something which I love, enjoy, and it brings to my better mood and to the energy which I have, and for the productivity. And it's a kind of my life. It's not I would not call it hobby or a habit. It's just how I live. It's part of um, the other main topics which I do daily. So sport activities and some and friends. So I'm a really social person, and I like to spend time with friends. I need people, um, and the communication with the people is something which I really need.
I have a follow-up
That's,
question. What kind of sports? What are the sports that you do?
yes, I do a lot of different sport activities. It's up to the mood. Um, I go to fitness. I make jogging, yoga, and it's up to the mood which I have. So it's not a plan that I have for the week what I'm going to do. It's up to the daily mood and up to the time which I have.
And you mentioned sports is one of the things that contribute to your productivity. This podcast is called Productivity Mastery. And I'm always curious to learn from successful leaders like yourself. What are some of your habits when it comes to productivity? For example, do you have like a Sunday ritual where you sit down and you look at your whole week and reflect, or set the plans for the week? Like, how do you make sure that you are productive?
So I do not make such a structured plan. So I know the tasks, and I don't need a big plan. So I'm really with big discipline, and I don't have to invest so many times by planning and thinking what I'm going to do. I just do it. And for sure, the sport activities, which I mentioned, are something which brings to my productivity, because it gives energy, mood, and it makes us much more productive, because the body and the mind are connected. And if we invest in our body, it our mind benefits of it. And I do not think that you could be successful long term if you do not consider your body and you don't take care of it. You could be successful for maybe some period of time, but not long term, because everything is connected. And as you mentioned, the holistic approach, we are one machine, and we have to take care of each part of it. Reading books, um, sport activities, or meditation, or whatever we enjoy.
Have you always been disciplined? You mentioned discipline a few times already, and from my experience, people who are very passionate, they're not always disciplined. They get excited about things, but they're not always following through. Have you always been disciplined, or did you have to cultivate this discipline in your life?
Interesting question. I think that I was always disciplined, but my habits were not always the best ones. So I had also not so healthy habits, and I was disciplined in the wrong direction. So disciplined in the right direction, I'm since a few years maybe. But yes, I think I was always disciplined. So sometimes it's really difficult for me to live with me because I expect so much from myself, and it's really difficult to to live with myself sometimes because of the high discipline which I have.
You have high expectations on yourself, and if you don't achieve them, even if you're super high, but your expectation is a little bit higher, then you beat yourself up, right? uh, this is kind of the super achievers syndrome in a way. But how do you deal with that? How do you remind yourself, like, do you have any mental tricks to remind yourself that it's okay, calm down, it's enough?
Tricks in which direction, to do what I have to do, or
No, I think you're already doing
to
what you
make the
have to
balance.
do. I think you're already doing what you have to do. I think it's tricks to remind yourself, um, hey, it's okay. It's not perfect, but you've done enough.
It could sound crazy, but I talk to myself, and there are very often so two voices in my head. But I really talk, and I'm watching how the two persons are talking. So the one say you have to do sport today, and the other say no, I'm tired. I don't want. I feel pain. I need a rest. Oh, you just go for 1 kilometer in the park and you just enjoy walking. And then I go and do one, two, three, because I know that with one I will not be satisfied. But I'm enjoying this dialogue between the two um, persons, two parts of me. Sometimes there are more than two, but in the best way when there are two, I'm just hearing what they are talking to each other, and I learned that they are in a good relation. It's not easy, but I think it's something which we have to learn. But observing and learning is that what I do.
That's super interesting. By the way, I think everybody listening can relate to these voices. We just don't talk about it, but everybody can relate that they're having this. Oh, go to the gym. No, no, stay in the bed. You have to relax. It was the whole week. No, you have to go to the gym. You have to, like, you have these goals, and um, and it's interesting topic because i- in some situations you have to choose the gym. In some situations you actually have to choose the other one depending on your priorities. And um, there's this guy, Tim Grover, who was the coach of Michael Jordan, and he's doing a lot of work these days on mental toughness. And he's all in on the discipline side, and he's like, you gotta dominate your brain, like you gotta be the one that you know you make decisions out of the rational and not the emotional. So he's very extreme on the side of discipline. Um, but I kind of believe there should be a balance, because if you're always discipline, like, then you kind of, I mean, you have to find a balance, right?
Absolutely right. And I think that if we are too disciplined, so and we do things which we do not enjoy and they're really hard, it's the same. We can do it short term, but long term, the body needs this balance, homeostasis. I don't know how it sounds in English. Homeostasis. Okay, let's say we need this balance and the 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 body and our nature and our biochemy part of us is more stronger, and if you do things which you do not like and if you push yourself, the other part will come and it will put the things in other direction, and you'll be in this amplitude of living, so ups and downs. And the balancing is there where you can be more time, and to enjoy the life really long term. So like everything also here is important to make some balance. Of course, some of us are more disciplined and make some sport or other activities, but also in this direction you could achieve some balance, let's say. Yes.
I'm curious what because you're all about healthy living, healthy eating is very important to you. But give us an example. Like, what are your guilty pleasures? Like, do you is like banichka, or like what is your go-to cheat meal, or like do you have a cheat day? Because I'm sure it's not 100% healthy, right? You used to have. I mean, do you eat cookies, or like? Give us some examples.
I have those days, and it's really difficult for me because I cannot allow myself daily some things which I want, and that's why in those days I take all which I needed in the past, and it's something which I learned because I try to allow myself more often some rest or some chocolate or something which I need, because if I push myself and I do not allow it but I need it, then the day come the day comes and the body is more stronger and it takes it from me, but for one day everything, and um, it's hard in those days. But I have days when I eat a lot of chocolate. It's like emotional eating sometimes. This is my with how you mentioned it, guilty. Okay, the dark side, let's say. But I don't have other unhealthy habits, so I think the only one. I don't drink, I don't smoke. It's the only one, the eating.
It's the chocolate. It's the chocolate. I love it. I mean, for me also, chocolate is
The chocolate. Yes.
beautiful. Diana, I have a question actually from. I have a small team, less than 10 people, and somebody from my team. In my team, there's many female young leaders, and one of them had this question. She wanted me to ask you. Um, so here's her question: despite the hard work, good training, dedication with which you have reached this high position in your career, have you encountered any difficulties along the way because of being a woman? Like any prejudice, stereotypes? What will be your recommendation to the young female leaders ambitious to build a successful career?
Thank you for the question. Actually, I haven't faced any difficulties because I'm a woman. I don't know if it's up to the company where I work or it's up to the country. I don't know. Maybe there are other examples, but in Kaufland, about above 70 percentage of the employees are women, and from the management staff, more than 50 percentage are women. And maybe because of that fact, I feel absolute no disadvantage or challenge that I'm a woman. Also in other fields and aspects of my life, no, I haven't. And what I would recommend to the young ladies, just not to focus on that topic, because if you focus on that, I'm a woman, I don't have the same chances like the men. The more focus you give to that topic, the more bigger it seems. So just not to focus on it.
What a great answer. What a great answer. Just, you know, focus on your opportunities, build yourself, do the work, show up every day, build your confidence, build your skill set. Amazing. It's a great advice to everybody. Thank you so much, Diana. If you can go back um, to the time you were 20 years old, ambitious young leader, what would be your top three pieces of advice for your younger self?
Mm, very, very interesting question. But do you know, no matter what I would say to myself, with 20, I was not kind of person that would follow some advices. And I think it's normal. It's like the life is. I just learned through experience, and it really doesn't matter. I would say to myself, um, I make the same with my daughter. I give advices, but I realize that she doesn't hear me, and she will not follow my advices. And she learn with the experience in the life. Sometimes it will be hard, sometimes not so hard, and I just accept it the way it is. So advices is not something that a lot of us follow. And I also try not to give advices to my friends or colleagues because many advices are not correct. They are wrong. Only you know what is correct for you. There was a statistic that a big percentage, maybe about 80%, 80%, 80% of the advices we give, they are not correct because you don't know what is in the head of the other people and what is good for him. Um, that's why advices is not something so important for me.
We had the founder of Reebok, the sneakers company, on the podcast, Joe Foster, amazing leader, and he shared something similar. He said, "Don't listen to too much advice. Don't listen to me." And the guy built at the time the biggest sports brand in the world, and he's like, "Don't listen to me. Who am I to give you advice? I can only give you one advice: believe in yourself. Believe in yourself, and if you were to make mistakes, do your own mistakes. Not somebody gave me advice, then I make a mistake and I feel bad about it because it wasn't my idea. So that was for me. It's like great reminder that it's good to learn, it's good to get inspiration, feedback, but we had another interesting set of guests on the podcast from a company called Remote More, and Boris Borisov and Boris Krastev. What they were sharing is they had meetings with 150 different investors early on in their startup journey, and he was first time he goes with the notebook, he writes notes, oh, we have to do this markets. Then they go to the next investor, no, don't do this, do this other thing. He's taking notes. After 10 meetings, he's like, everybody gives you different advice, and at the end of the day, you just have to listen to yourself because they don't know your situation. They don't have the context.
Yes, exactly. And do you give advices?
I do give advices, but I try to give advices when I'm asked to, when I have the permission to. So, for example, I don't know, in my practice or whatever, uh, when a client is like, "Hey, by the way, could you give me some examples of how to organize my time?" Now, I can give some examples, but it's more like this is a menu. Which one works for you? What do you think? Uh, so I'm trying not to be very concrete with you got to do this, and this is gonna help you, but instead, maybe through questions and perspective and examples, help them choose what's good for them.
Nice. I think this is the right way. If you're asked to give advice, give it. But yes, some direction which the person should follow. It's a good way. There is a really nice word in Bulgarian, "Няма ненаказано добро." I don't know how it is in English, but um, maybe you could help with the translation. If you're not asked to give advice and give, it's really it's very often that um, it's something not positively um, appreciated.
Let me try to translate it. Няма ненаказано добро. There's no unpunished good deed. Okay, that probably sounds weird, but yeah, totally agree. Um, Diana, since
Yeah,
we're at the end of this
I
podcast, I
can
just want to.
I translated it. It just es gibt nichts, was nicht bestraft wird. Yeah.
For the German listeners, now you know what we're talking about. So fantastic! Thanks, Diana, for being with us. To kind of wrap up this episode, I wanted to ask you, like a final question. In the past, let's say 24 months, what new leadership habit, mindset, practice have you started applying that you haven't done before?
You have really challenging questions. So I would think mm, after the episode, I will reflect a longer time after the episode about myself and my habits in the life. Um, I started to listen. I'm learning to listen because it's really hard that you can listen, not just hearing what the person is saying, not just listening to respond and formulating your answer during the listening, but really listening what the person wants to say you. And I'm learning this new habit since the last maybe 2 years. It's something new for me because also as a daughter of a teacher, I'm I was used just to speak and to speak and to speak and to tell what I mean and what I wanted to say. But it was something new that I listened what the other side wants to tell me, and I realized it, that I'm not a good listener. And I said I have to learn to be a good listener, and I'm learning it. I have a lot of potential and a really long way which I have to go, but I'm trying. And also now I'm listening to you actively, and I'm here and I'm attending the conversation. It's um, a new approach and a new habit which I develop. And um, I think that there are not many people who can listen, but really listen. The most people just hear and really listen to respond. But tell me, how many people do you know which are really actively listeners? And this is something which I learned. Yes.
What a beautiful way to wrap up this episode. Thank you for being vulnerable throughout the whole episode. First of all, thank you for taking our invitation. I know that German and Bulgarian you're fluent, and English is not you're not feeling so comfortable. You took the challenge. First of all, you're here with us. You made a great episode. You and I didn't know about this listening thing before, but I felt listened to, and I don't feel that with every guest on the podcast. Some people are great communicators, but they are not necessarily good listeners. And I felt you really listen to what I say and reflect on it. So you are definitely definitely way ahead in this type of the journey. So thank you so much, Diana. It's been really fantastic having you on the podcast, sharing picking your brain, sharing your ideas. And I just want to give you the space here to share if anything you want to share also what you guys are doing at the Kaufland, and maybe I don't know, you're looking for new people or something. Like, I'm giving you the space to share whatever you want to say, or maybe just the final message. The floor is yours. Let us know if there's anything that's exciting to you these days.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the invitation. I would share with you that when I received the invitation, it was no, I cannot speak in English live in podcast. So, if it's in German or in Bulgarian, yes, of course. But it's really difficult for me. But I said I have to challenge myself, and I have what to say. And I like you also as a person because you have a lot of energy, and I was sure that it will be great. It was really nice to be here when I saw what kind of guests you had. So one voice of my head said, "Oh, you're not so important and interesting like the other guest," but the other voice said, "Why not? There is audience for each one of us." And I want to share something because we thought about authenticity and showing not only how perfect we are. Now, also during the conversations with you, I had the two voices because one said, "Oh, you cannot speak good, no one will understand you, and your English is not good." But the other voice said, "So I'm sure that each one could understand me, and it's important the message, not the grammatic of the words which I said." So I just want to share that um, I we don't have to judge ourselves so much, and we are judging ourselves. I do it with me, but I'm warning not to do it. Just to listen the voices, but not to be so judging people with you. We have to respect ourselves and to show and to talk about those feelings and moments. It's so nice to be open and it's appreciated. I'm sure by all the people. We all have problems and emotions, and we have to talk about it. Thank you. And about Kaufland, I will not give advice, comment the work here, but I love my company because I have the values which the company also has. It's a really good matching, and like many companies in Bulgaria, just I would say you have to choose the company which match with your values and understanding of how the things should be done. And I'm a happy person that I work here. I love my company and my job.
Yeah, you have an amazing energy, and I'm sure everybody in Kaufland is lucky to have people like yourself. Thank you for being so caring. Thank you for challenging yourself. Thank you for making an amazing episode with all the learnings and being vulnerable. Super grateful. And I want to respect your time, so I'll wrap up the episode here. But everybody who's been listening, if you enjoyed this episode, make sure to share it with a friend that will get value out of it. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, subscribe to Productivity Mastery. Um, we have a comment. Great show, great guests. Please check DM. Okay, we have something. Um, so subscribe to Productivity Mastery. Like the more people we have that are subscribed, the more people who give us ratings, the better possibility we can have amazing people like Diana join us on the podcast. So please do that. And thank you for making it to the end of the episode, obviously. And see you once again at the next episode of Productivity Mastery. Bye bye.
Bye bye.